Hey everyone, and a huge welcome to our head reps. It doesn't matter if you're brand new to this or you've been doing it for years, this explainer is for you. We're going to break down one of the most powerful tools you have, the Kudos and Concerns process, and exactly how you can make it work for you and your members.
So let's just jump right in with the big question, right? We all know stuff comes up in our buildings. Could be small frustrations, could be bigger questions about the contract. But how do you actually take all that talk and turn it into real, actual solutions?
Well, that's where Kudos and Concerns, or KNC as we call it, comes in. Now, this isn't just a quick hallway conversation. It's the official, structured way for AEA members and your building's administration to actually sit down at the same table and solve problems together.
Okay, so what's this all really about? Let's dig into the core purpose of KNC and what it's truly designed to do.
You can think of the goal of KNC as having three main parts. First, and most obviously, it's about solving problems. But just as important, it's about nipping issues in the bud right there in your building, at the lowest possible level before they ever have to get bigger. And finally, it's a fantastic way to give your admin a real sense of the temperature of the building. To take the pulse of what's going well and what's not.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how does it actually work? Let's walk through the monthly cycle. Seriously, you can think of this as your step-by-step playbook for making it happen.
The rhythm is actually pretty simple once you get the hang of it. Around the second week of the month, you're going to send out that form to your members. Then, sometime in the week before Rep Council, you'll have your meeting with your admin. And this part is so important. You close that communication loop by reporting the results back to your members within 2 days of the meeting.
So, when you boil it all down, your job as head rep comes down to three key actions: solicit, meet, and report. That's it. You gather the input from your members, you hold a meeting with your administrator, and then you share what happened. That simple cycle is the engine that drives this whole thing.
All right, like any good system, this one has some rules of engagement, and they're important. So let's talk about who's in the room and who's not.
And that leads us to probably the most important question you'll have to deal with in this whole process. Who actually gets to provide input for KNC?
And the answer could not be clearer. It is members only. I'm going to say that again, members only. This is an AEA process for AEA members. That means you should only be asking for kudos and concerns from your members, never from non-members. It's that simple.
So how do you actually do that? Well, it all starts with your member list. You've got to have an up-to-date list of every single AEA member in your building. Then, and this is key, you create a special email group or distribution list just for them. This members-only list is your go-to for everything KNC, from sending out the form to reporting back the results.
This is so important to remember. KNC is all about collaboration, not confrontation. So let's talk about how you can work with your administrator to really set the stage for success and make these meetings as productive as possible. One of the best things you can do is just sit down with your admin at the beginning of the year and agree on how this is all going to work. Talk it out. How many reps should be there? How often are we going to meet and for how long? Are you going to want a heads up on the topics beforehand? Some folks even find it helps to let their admin glance at the summary before it goes out, just to make sure you're both on the same page. Getting these ground rules set up front builds a ton of trust.
When it comes down to it, everyone has a really clear role here. Your members, their job is to bring the topics. You, the head rep, you're the engine. You make it all happen. The soliciting, the scheduling, the meeting, the reporting. And your administrator, their job is to come to the table ready to problem solve and provide clarifications. See? When everyone knows their part, the whole thing just runs so much more smoothly.
Okay, let's just pull back for a second. Because this KNC process, it isn't just one more thing on your to-do list. It's a really central part of your leadership role. You're basically the gateway to action for your building. And look, we know this is a big responsibility. It's a lot of work. That's why it's so important for you to know that this leadership is recognized. Head reps get an additional stipend for taking on these crucial duties. In this quote, this really says it all, doesn't it? In the current political climate, we need to be able to mobilize quickly, and head reps are the gateway. It's about more than just day-to-day building issues. It's about being that critical communication link that lets us all move together when we need to. You are that gateway.
When you get right down to it, that's what you are. You're the vital link. You connect your members to each other, you connect them to the administration, and you connect your entire building to the bigger AEA. It is such a powerful and important job.
All right, so As we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final thought. A little bit of homework, maybe. We've talked a lot about concerns, and they're obviously important, but don't forget the kudos part. So here's my question for you. What's the first kudos, the first piece of positive feedback you're going to bring to your next meeting? Think about it. It's a great way to start. Thanks so much for everything you do.